I'm sure you heard a little bit about Donald Trump maybe getting indicted this or soon. We don't know when for sure. He said it was going to be Tuesday. This is now filmed Wednesday, so still hasn't been arrested. I guess the grand jury's meeting again on Thursday to hear one more witness. So I don't know. It looks like they're going to move forward though because the New York Police Department's already barricaded that building, and they've set up extra cameras around it in case there were protests. There was a protest on Tuesday. It consisted of probably about 80 reporters and 12 Trump supporters. It was pretty pathetic. Nobody showed up.
They're like, meh.
It's like when
it's Taco Tuesday somewhere. I feel like I've got better things to do.
Well, it's like when you're 8 years old and you invite everybody to your party and it's just like the two real dorky kids with the nasal problem show up, right?
Yeah.
They had this whole deal about people were going to form a human moat around Mar-a-Lago where Trump lives to stop him from getting arrested. Who are these people that have time to go form a human moat? I mean,
right? I mean, I don't know. When I was living in Portland, I participated in a lot of protests that a lot of people were hanging out at for a lot of hours. So, it's possible. It's possible.
yeah,
but I'm not sure I would make myself a human moat for the person.
No, but would you travel to another state?
No.
That's my point.
Oh, no.
Protesting in your own city is one thing. Traveling to other states is another thing. Well, anyway, let's look at this. Morning Joe was talking about Trump. This is all still around the hush money for Stormy Daniels, who was the porn star that he had the affair with.
All right, let's check it out.
So they're going to talk a little bit about what's going on, but it looks like sometime soon.
In the case, set to meet again to possibly vote on whether or not to hand down a criminal indictment. Republicans, meanwhile, as we have said, continue to defend Trump on this one charge and rail against the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg.
President Trump announced he was going to run for president again. And suddenly here they go. Now they're coming after him for some alleged bookkeeping error. You've got to be kidding me.
This, I believe, is the epitomization of the weaponization of the federal government and departments against political opponents.
The fact that the Manhattan DA thinks that indicting President Trump is his top priority, I think, just tells you everything you need to know about the radical left in this country.
They're making stuff up that they've never used against anybody because they hate Trump.
Making stuff up.
Even look at Mika on the left there. Even she's trying not to laugh. Because it's all stupid. I mean, this indictments. I mean, this grand jury's been going on for years. I mean, and these kinds of cases, they take years. I mean, that's just how it goes. And then the other thing that's so funny about all this is part of this is they couldn't do this while he was president because you can't indict a sitting president as part of a rule that should be changed, in my opinion. But
so let's do a bunch of illegal activity and then see if we can just somehow by the skin of our teeth become the president, so we can be just hanging out, running the country and stuff while
well, he did this.
Nobody.
Yeah, he did this while running for president. Yeah, but the other thing is, I love Mike Pence is up there defending him. Former Vice President Mike Pence, the guy who ended.
You know that guy sitting there going, God, I thought this job was over. I thought this was over.
Oh, no, I think he wants to run for president. I don't think he realizes he's not going to win. But the other thing about it is Pence, it's like, you do remember how you ended your vice presidency. You had to run and hide from Trump supporters who were trying to hang you. They had a gallows built out in front of Congress. They were out there chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." And now you're defending Trump after he incited that shit against you? I mean, the guy basically he had to basically live jumping from home to home for a while for safety after he left the vice presidency. But now he's defending Trump. This is just how weenie these people are, right? So let's see what they say real quick, and then we'll move on. But
again, Willie, you can sort through everything that was just said. Again, I don't know how stupid they think we are. I don't think it's us. They actually think their own voters are stupid, and that's what's so insulting when you have Jim Jordan saying, "Oh, Donald Trump just announced," and suddenly they decide to charge. No, Donald Trump announced because he knew he was going to get indicted. We talked about it on this show for months. Is he?
And that's I guess the crux is that's true. Part of the reason he probably announced running for president was because he was afraid he was going to get indicted. That was everybody was talking about that. That's why he announced so early. Otherwise, why would you announce that early? Most people don't announce 2 years from the election.
Right. Well, kind of makes you think, geez, we better push this thing through in case he becomes a president again and then becomes untouchable for a while. It's almost like he advertised that we need to move this thing along.
He can be he can serve as president from jail. That's actually you could do that. Be unprecedented, but I doubt he would. I don't think he's going to win an election.
Can you see the rest of the world looking at us like, "Oh, America, what are you doing over there?"
I think when he was president, I think that's what most of the world was thinking. Was what the hell is going on?
That was, from my experience, that was what a lot of people were thinking when I traveled overseas.
Yeah. The
definitely got a lot of questions.
The only countries that liked Trump were Russia and Saudi Arabia. So let's get a sense of where your priorities are on that one. Anyway, I guess 2 quick points on this was one is what was it? What was I going to say? The part of this is so he's running on this. There were 2 interesting things that came at this that are nothing to do with anything. One was the Stormy Daniels book, where she talked about and described his genitalia. And then he was really upset about that.
He can talk about grabbing women by their parts, but somebody says something about his genitalia.
Well, she compared it to a very famous character. This guy. This is a visual aid. This is how Stormy Daniels described it.
What is happening right now?
The other thing that I thought was funny was it came up where people were asking, is Trump going to be the first president to ever be arrested? And it's like, well, no, if he gets indicted, he'll be the first president to be indicted. But he'll be the second president or former president to be arrested. The first one, and I was shocked. So far, the only president to ever be arrested, he was actually arrested while president, I think, was Ulysses S. Grant.
Really?
And he got arrested because he had a horse and buggy that were really nice, and he liked to speed them through Georgetown, and so he got cited for speeding. And finally, after the 8th time, the local, I guess, chief of police there or sheriff told him, no, you can't do this anymore. What they did then was they talked to a judge, and the judge said, well, you just handle it punitively, right? As a police department, just handle it. We're not going to indict it. We'll just handle it as a violation of a rule, like a ticket. And what they did was they confiscated his horse and his buggy for 3 months. The police department, and they made him walk back to the White House.
That's like another kind of walk of shame. That's like a different sort of walk of shame, but it definitely is one nonetheless.
He's sitting there thinking, I was a general.
Bad president.
I led the Rough Riders.
Oh, man.
I gotta walk home.
Walk home.
He's in his 50s, trudging down Georgetown. At least he got tagged for something cool. Speeding. Right. So, anyway.